There we go. Hello, um, and welcome to the fourth episode of Artifact Hunter. I'm Mike, I'm your DM, and I'm here with three of my players and a guest who actually plays in one of our other games. But um, I will turn it over to them and let them tell you who they are and what they do. And I'll start with Robin.
Hi, I'm Robin. I'm playing Meadow. She is a bard and she's a tabaxi with the soul of a house cat.
Which means if you got a ball of yarn, you can keep her busy for hours.
Exactly.
But and then next to her is Arden. Eh, So Arden, tell us who you are and what you do.
It would have helped if I did not press mute on the microphone.
Well, well, yeah, that's always good.
See, Jinx is already having an effect.
Yay!
So I play Arden, who's a human cleric. Very original, I know. He's been around a while, but is still pretty naive. He was very sheltered, and so he's just sort of getting his first real experience with people who aren't monks and clerics. He doesn't clean up hairballs.
I have a pet dragon for that, but yeah. So and we'll go beneath Arden to the fall.
Hello, I'm LaFall. I play. One second here. Where's my character sheet? Arya, who is an Varial Ranger.
Okay. And uh, our guest that you can see is Jinx. And,
Hi, everybody. I'm back.
Hi! Yay!
and
I'm going to mute myself after this so that way you guys can, so I don't interrupt if I fall asleep.
uh, we'll just we'll just use it for more thunderstorm noises.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a handy sound effect.
Mhm.
Uh, we're glad you made it back because it's been a long time. And
Oh, too
We
long.
missed you.
you're our comedy relief. I
Uh,
get to do I get to do really interesting things to you, and you like it. So I'm
it's
good.
fine. It's the submissive in me.
Yeah. Eh, I think you're the only person who's ever been, practically killed by a meal they ordered that yeah. I've never heard of another player that got into that problem. But
Setting
Oh,
records.
so glad we're setting records. All right. Well, I'm going to let you guys get back to the game. I just want to say hi and see how you guys are doing.
yeah, well, hopefully you can come back on a regular basis and we can get back into
Yeah.
our
I look forward to it.
our original Fallen Dragons game because you guys have been like stuck in the Underdark for a while now.
We really should get to saving his parents.
Mm.
Mhm.
By now they've died and they're decayed and it's been a long ass time. So,
Well, that's a lovely thought.
but yeah,
Right.
but hopefully we'll get back to that soon.
Mhm.
Okay. um, back to Artifact Hunter. So, uh, as I said, you guys are headed north to your next uh, town where you're continuing to gather information, however real or not, about this artifact. And what I will say is that you are on the road headed north. It's the sun. Uh, the sun is about mid morning. Uh, the forest is actually fairly heavy on both sides of this road. They didn't, when they made the road, they didn't take the time to clear much of the surrounding land. They just cut the road through the forest. Since it's mid morning, um, what are you guys doing?
I guess we could always start our day with some breakfast.
Well, mid morning, we should already be past breakfast and traveling.
Some of us are late risers, okay?
So, what happens
Well, I
is,
kicked you 5 times in the head before you could trying to wake you up for breakfast. I've already put the stuff away.
If
well,
my mom couldn't do it,
see, see, that's the problem. You kicked them in the head 5 times.
Well, I was gonna say that was the problem. That's why he didn't get up.
thanks for that.
But,
Hell, I even poured scone coffee on you.
you know, you can snag food as you're traveling along, and
Well, we have our rations with us anyway.
Yeah.
So.
yeah.
I'm just kind of grumpily side eyeing LaFall as we do.
Now
You know,
you
there
have
are
hungry,
other
are
ways
you?
to wake someone up in the morning. An angry, screeching ranger in your face is not at the top of my list.
Well, next time I'll wake you up. I'll just kind of sneak up and go pat your face a little bit. And if you don't wake up, I'll put the claws out and do
We already had the claws. Could it possibly have been worse?
it.
well, she could just jump on your chest and lick you a lot.
Depending on what part of the world you're in, that's a good time.
Which makes me wonder, are Tabaxi's tongues scratchy like cat tongue?
I have no clue. That's something that only you would know.
Inquiring minds want to know.
I'm just going to go ahead and say yes, they are.
Achieve any charisma.
So,
I got nothing for that.
that might be the best response. So, so you guys are traveling north. Who has the map with all the uh, cleric temples marked on it?
I believe we gave it to the cleric or
Yeah.
the ranger.
The ranger, yeah. So,
I'm sorry. She does have a name.
Arya.
Grumpy.
Yeah, we're gonna nickname the cleric Grumpy. uh, actually, if there were 7 of you, I'd do the whole,
Dopey, sneezy. Yeah.
Snow White thing, but there's not enough of you to do that. Uh,
Well, we
so,
already got Dopey. That's covered.
well, yeah.
That's.
Jinx.
I have a name.
So, so
You're
you're sa-
grumpy. We already got that covered.
so you're saying we have Dopey and Grumpy. We just need the rest of them.
Yep.
But okay. So um, as you are headed north, whoever has the map should probably look at the map so you don't get lost.
Yep.
Because, like I said, this forest is fairly heavy on both sides. And being mid morning, the forest is making it darker than it would normally be if you were out on the road. But um, if you look at the map, there is a town straight north of you called Baldwin. And from what the map looks like, it's probably half a day from where you are. So if you kept going at a decent pace, you would get there before dark. So
So I'll have to just. All right. Sorry, I'm going to get that wrong a bunch of times today. Just Arya have to let us know.
it would probably be a good idea because you guys have to discuss what you want to do.
Discuss what? We already know we need to go to the clerics
Yeah, but
library.
the rest of them don't know the name of the town or how much further they have to go.
Oh, would you look at that? The ranger assumes that we all know where we're going.
Here, you want to read the map?
No, that's not my job. My job is to wiggle my fingers and make people alive.
I'm gonna just snatch the map. I'm like, we don't need to be arguing between ourselves. I'm just gonna grab the map and look at it.
We
I'd
got
be
about a
so
half
happy
day's
with her.
ride straight north.
And so, while you guys are figuring all of that out, I need a perception check from all of you.
Oh, that's always good news.
Of course you do.
Ooh,
Here.
I get a natural 20, which gives me a 25.
Okay.
So that's the only
15.
one you're getting all day. So let's make good use of it.
Well,
16.
okay. And what did Meadow get?
Oh, I got 15.
Um, you all start your little conversation is broken as the three of you um, hear a large cracking noise coming from your left.
I'm going to turn and look with concern on my face.
I mean, This is a large enough cracking noise that it sounds like a tree came down.
Did you hear that? It sounded like a tree came down.
No, I didn't hear that tree falling.
Can we tell exactly what direction it came from, or are we just like looking around to see if there's anything
No,
to see?
it came from your left.
Okay.
So it's in the forest off the left side of the road. And then a couple of, 30 seconds to a minute later, you hear another identical noise.
I don't think that's just trees falling over.
I don't see any bears.
Can we see anything over in that direction?
From the road, not really. If you wanted to go over and investigate it, you could.
No, I don't think we necessarily want to do that.
But from where you are, just looking over, you just see the edge of the forest.
Are there any other noises or just the things that sound like trees falling or possibly footsteps? Whatever it is.
Yeah. Have to do a little adjusting here for a second. You do start to hear other animals, and it sounds like they're starting to panic a little. You see a flock of birds take off. You hear a few other screeches, but there are animals moving in the forest. And you're assuming it's because of the other two noises that you heard.
So we don't actually have to go through the forest to get where we're going, right? We can just stay on the road and avoid it.
Right. The road cuts through the forest on both. There's forest to the left of you and forest to the right of you, but as long as you stay on the road, you're clear.
Here I am, stuck in the middle.
Yes, we don't have to go over towards the noise.
Right. I think we should just stay on our course that we're already on and keep our eyes open, but don't go looking for trouble.
Okay. The one thing I will ask you, however, are you slowing down or are you speeding up? Or are you going to keep your normal pace and just try to ignore this thing?
Keep
Maybe
it normal.
speed up a little bit, but not
Keep it normal.
like
So you do that. And then you keep going. And for maybe half an hour, you don't hear anything. And then you hear the assorted animal noises again, but they're getting louder. and then a little bit after that, you hear another sound like the initial tree snapping.
All right, I'll say it. I've got a bad feeling about this.
But other than the cleric starting to worry about this, um, are you staying on your original path?
Yep.
Yeah, that seems like the smartest thing to do.
Okay. Although things are getting louder, they don't necessarily sound like they're getting closer. They're not getting further away, but they're not getting it's not getting close enough that you would assume that it's coming after you, or even that it knows you're there. So,
It?
well, you're you're assuming, maybe you're not assuming, that the noise that sounds like a fairly substantial tree falling, and then animal noises getting louder and louder. You're assuming something's going on, but it doesn't sound like it's coming toward you. If if anything, it sounds like it's uh, keeping pace with you.
I mean, I can't think of anything possibly bad that could come out of this.
But what you do see are more and more birds in the air, and um, like I said, the noises from the other smaller animals are getting louder. So,
I'll do a little beast sense, see what the animals see and are hearing to make them panic as they are.
okay, okay. Um, is that a spell that you have to roll or what?
No, it is a spell, but I don't have to roll for it.
Okay. Is there a saving roll or does it just happen?
Just happens.
Okay. So you slow down a little bit and the rest of the group gets slightly ahead of you, and then you concentrate for a minute and try to connect with the animals and sense what's going on. And you do get some response. The sense you're getting is that the reason the animals are moving is that um and most of the animals don't really know how to articulate this, but the few that do, the the sense you're getting is that they're they're running from something. Um, Actually, one of them says that they're. You get the sense that they're running from something that looks similar to you. Only it's a it's a larger group, and they're in a bigger wooden wagon than you're in, and that's what's making the loud crunching noises. But this thing lumbering through the forest is enough to make the animals move. It's that large.
I assume she tells us.
So a larger group of
Right.
people, possibility, much larger wagon. Hmm. Do they have, try to,
If you have specific questions, let me know what they are, and I'll try and see if they can answer your question. But you're talking to animals, so you got to make your questions fairly simple and straightforward.
well, no, I'm not talking with animals. I'm using the senses and their sight.
Yeah. So,
So I'm going to have, see if I can't get a bird to turn around to see see this group.
um, what I'll say is you can telepathically communicate with one of the birds that's in one of the flocks that are flying over, and you get them to look down, and of course the first thing you're going to see is the forest canopy, but as they look down inside that, if you're looking through their eyes, what you see is a wagon similar to. Hold it. You guys have a wagon, right? Or are you just
No,
walking?
we just
We
had
had
horses.
horses. Yeah, we
Okay.
had horses.
You had horses, so you don't have a wagon. Okay. Getting my games confused. Um, so you look down and you see this massive covered wagon um, with spikes on the wheels, and it looks like it's been outfitted for combat. Uh, and inside the wagon, you, you see maybe for what you can count with your limited sight, maybe 8 beings. A couple of them are human, and the rest of them are elves. And interestingly enough, there of the 6 that are elves, they're they're not all of one group. You've got a couple of what you would think of as normal elves, and then the rest are uh, dark elves.
Okay.
And it seems like the 2 humans in the group are uh, guides per se, but they don't look normal. They look like they're entranced somehow because they're walking along very slowly and they're lumbering along next to the wagon, and they don't look normal. And after you see this, your connection breaks and the bird flies away. And you remember that you've been told that there are other people or other groups looking for the same thing you're looking for. Um, you don't know if they have a similar map or they've just been trailing you the whole time.
Okay, so here's what I know. We got a few elves, a couple of humans who look like they might be guides, but aren't willing, possibility. It looks like a war wagon.
That doesn't sound good.
So I'll ask Arya if she just saw them or if she'd been able to pick up any bits of conversation they might have been having. Was she too far away to hear anything?
Nah, I couldn't hear anything. A couple of dark elves, a couple of normal elves.
And, and and you being a type of elf yourself, you you know that they elves don't normally venture out into the forest unless there's there's something magical that they're after. And they certainly don't wander around in groups like the one you just saw. So
Yep.
Do we need to steer clear of them, or are they just following us?
Don't know what they're doing. They could be just following us. They could be tracking as well the same information. Because as you two know, we're not the only ones on this little adventure of gathering information at the moment. So don't know what they're up to.
So, do you guys want to make any changes given the new information, or you just want to keep doing what you're doing?
I'd say probably just keep heading toward our next stop. Just, but definitely keep an eye out. And I'm gonna ask Arya if I don't know if if you would have been able to determine this or not, but did they look like they were at all aware of us, of our presence here?
Couldn't tell.
I'm sure there's a perfectly reasonable explanation that they're out here in the middle of the forest, knocking trees over. We should just go say hi.
No, I think we should just avoid them.
As I said, Arya knows that there's no way in the world that regular elves and dark elves would be in the same wagon with each other unless there was something important going on.
But I'm not going to know that.
No. You two wouldn't know that unless she told you that.
Right. But even not knowing that, I kind of have the feeling that it would be best to just try to kind of sneak on past and not draw attention to ourselves, just in case.
Not everyone is a wild bandit with a club waiting around the corner. Some people are nice. Maybe they're
If
looking for the same things, and we
if
can help
if
each other.
those dark elves are what I think they are, they'll rather kill you first.
And believe me, I mean, I know what you're saying, Arden, but not everybody wants to give you ear scritches either. There are some people out there who are not very nice.
Granted, not everyone is nice, but we don't know that these people are mean or bad.
Like I said, if those dark elves who are, I think they are, they would rather kill you first.
Not all
I
dark
have not
elves.
I have not run across many dark elves who would not rather kill you first and then ask later.
Years ago in Clare College, I met this one dark elf. She was very nice, sarcastic, a little bit grumpy, but she was nice.
I'm not. I'm not gonna test that. Uh, uh, Cause I was about to say it. How'd that work out for you? But you know,
Well, obviously they got some bad blood somewhere
yeah,
from dating.
yeah, and that's why he became a cleric. But yeah,
Jeez.
yeah.
And besides that, Arden, they're in a war wagon.
And we're not.
Exactly.
Right.
Why would
Yeah.
you want to go see them and say, hello, I'm here, you can shoot me?
Okay, fine, Miss Alarm Clock made of feet.
Mm. So,
We'll do it your way for once.
uh, so as you've been having this conversation, um, all of you give me another perception check.
25 total.
19.
I warned you. 13.
Uh, all of you can perceive well enough that since you've been having this conversation, the noises you're hearing that were basically equal to you but to the left have now moved in front of you. Um, what I'm saying is the noises are now coming from ahead of you. Um, what do you want to do about that, if anything?
Well, does it sound like they're continuing to move, or does it sound like they've stopped?
No, it sounds like they're continuing to move, but now they've passed you and gone ahead of you. And they were staying equal pace with you. Now they've gone ahead of you.
Well, maybe that's a good sign. Maybe it means they're going to, just keep going and ignore us, or they don't even know we're here at all.
Well,
So,
no, no, they don't have any, you know, they're not concerned with things around them. They don't know that you're even there.
okay, well, in my opinion, that's a good sign. So I say we just keep on going until we get to the village we're heading to.
Okay. By now, it's probably early afternoon. Uh, you've been on the road for several hours. Um, so, um, Meadow, your horse, uh, without much warning, your horse starts to um, falter a bit.
Maybe we should find different horses. They don't seem to be the most reliable things.
Right?
Well,
So does my horse actually like fall or
No, it stumbles slightly, and you look down, and the road's flat. And you don't see any rocks or you can't you can't really tell why your horse stumbled.
Is everything okay?
I am not sure. I think so. Maybe just stepped on something.
It's an awful lot of spookiness going on. I really still think we should just talk to those people. Maybe they know what's going on.
By now, you're still hearing the animals, but you're not hearing the large cracking noises you were hearing earlier.
They've gone off ahead of us, so
That's good, right?
yep.
I'm hoping so, yeah.
I'm not entirely so sure.
So, as as the early afternoon goes on, enough sun breaks through the forest canopy that you can now, in the distance, see a very tall white spire. Uh,
I assume that's our destination, or at least in the direction we're supposed to be going.
oh, it's the spire you can now see is straight ahead of you, but it's uh, a bit far off still. You can only see the very top of it.
I mean, I guess we just keep going.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's not really much else we can do at the moment.
Uh, You continue making decent progress. Um, all of this has slowed you down a bit, but um, by mid afternoon, the spire you were seeing is gone because you're closer to it. It's now uh, like blocked from your view by the forest ahead of you. Uh, okay. Um, I need 2 rolls from each of you.
Uh-oh.
One is a perception check, and the other is a constitution.
Okay.
Excuse me, constitution check.
Well, okay. 24 in the perception, 16 on the constitution.
Okay.
17 perception.
Yeah, this is how I definitely know Jinx is not
Con was a 20.
Okay.
got
Yeah,
good dice rolls.
I got 15 on perception, but I only got 5 on constitution altogether.
Okay. You can all see basically at the top edge of the forest canopy, if you look up, that something in the air doesn't seem right.
So like we can actually see it.
What you can see is earlier there were flocks of birds. I mean, hundreds of birds. But as you get closer to this, whatever the spire was or is, those birds have gone now. The If you look up to the canopy of the forest, there's nothing there. No birds, no noises, no nothing. And all of a sudden, Meadow just sort of slumps and almost falls off her horse, who's um, st- and the horse is still acting rather strange. But at this point, she she slumped over and is barely holding on to the saddle of the horse.
Okay, I guess it's time for the kitty to lie down.
So,
I'm gonna
t-
hold on.
uh,
So I'll
Sorry, I had to sneeze. Ooh.
pull the horses over.
I'm gonna rush over and check on her.
um, she seems to be actually unconscious.
Can I tell why?
Um, Give me another perception check. Eh, or you could do a medicine check if you have
Oh, so
medicine. So, either one.
26.
Was that perception or medicine?
It was medicine. 18 plus 8.
Uh, as you get close enough to her and uh, to notice her breathing, the breath out of her nostrils smells absolutely acidic.
Ooh,
I, I don't know if anybody of you has ever smelled acid from a bottle. It's a really sharp, sour smell.
smelled what from
Like
a bottle?
vinegar.
Like, no, like if you've ever smelled, if you've ever been in a science class and smelled sulfuric acid from a bottle,
Ooh, what's that? It's been a while, but
it's
yes.
it's sour and very sharp, and that's what you're smelling when you get close enough to smell her breath. And she is literally unconscious.
She's not
Oh,
doing pretty good.
um, and by the way, Meadow, your hit points are fine. You're just, you know, you're not
Okay.
di- you're not dying. You're just unconscious.
I'm just unconscious.
Right.
Kind of draped over the front of the horse's neck.
Well, hopefully they've gotten you off the horse by now. But
Put it on the
uh,
horse.
yeah.
Pull her off the horse. Put her on the ground. And it. Ooh. Oh, what did she eat last night? Or on the way here? Or did she catch something?
I got no idea.
What? I mean, did Tabaxi hunt? Did she like eat something?
um,
I got no idea what's going on with her. What happened to her?
in general, you know that some tabaxis do hunt from time to time. You just don't know if she's ever done it before.
I'm just trying to stretch the cat thing.
Well, I understand that. It's a logical question for a being like that, but y- y- you have heard that some of them do. You just don't know if she's ever done it before. So, so that could be one explanation, is what I'm saying. Uh,
Even though she's feline, it's above what I know medical wise. So
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
there.
this is all on you.
It's
yeah.
all it's great. Oh, it has two legs and two arms, and so therefore a cleric must be able to know everything about it. Right. I have no idea.
No, I know how to heal animals. This technically isn't an animal.
Well,
I'm sorry, I don't. I don't know why that one struck me. That's funny.
they're right. You know, Arya's right. Uh, she can heal like wolves and stuff like that. Um, Races that actually are closer to humanoid are the clerics department.
Fine, mysterious voice in the sky. So it just kind of smells like sulfur, basically sulfuric acid.
Yeah.
I'm not really okay. So what I'm going to do is use poison, detect poison and diseases.
Do you have to roll for that, or does it just happen?
No, it says within 30 feet I can detect poisons, poisonous, or venomous creatures, magical contagions. They're 30 feet of me.
30 feet of you. Uh, this
It's a
this
concentration spell.
the spell happens, but you don't actually pick up anything.
so that's good.
This is not magical and it's not a disease.
Well, she's not. She's just unconscious, and her breath smells like she ate a rat that ate a rotting spider that ate like 3 dead bugs. Can we, like, how far is the? No, the forest is between us and the tower, right?
You still have a little bit of forest to go, yes.
Hmm.
You're probably looking at another hour of travel to get out of the forest. Because by now it's late afternoon and
Well,
it's starting to get dark.
I can't detect any poison or disease on her that would have caused it. I reach down and I'm going to reach down and find her tail and pick a couple of hairs off of her tail to see if I can wake her. Pluck a couple of hairs off of her tail. Let's see if this works.
So, uh, you're laying there unconscious, and on some level, you feel a handful of hairs get pulled out of your tail. Uh,
Okay.
uh,
I read it in a book once.
so, uh, give me a, even though you're unconscious, give me a constitution check
Okay.
to see if this wakes you up.
12.
Mm. I rolled a contested uh, constitution check to see how deeply unconscious you were, and uh, you beat it. So this actually does wake you up,
I didn't
and
think I had when I did.
and and the first thing you feel when you wake up is pain in your tail because somebody just yanked a handful of hairs out of your tail. The second thing you feel, however, is extremely groggy, and you have a you know headache that's worse than the worst hangover you've ever had.
Which I've actually never had because I've never had anything
Uh,
to
well,
drink.
okay.
Going in the
Well,
total opposite direction from my other character here.
well, in that case, you're assuming it would be that bad,
Yeah.
but yeah, you have a you know bordering on migraine headache, and your tail hurts, and uh,
And I have no idea what happened either, so I'm just like, what the hell? I'm just kind of lying there like,
eh, and at this point, I need 3 Constitution checks, one from each of you.
17.
14.
14.
Okay, because you're getting closer to whatever the smell is, and you're able to, stay conscious and handle it. It's just that it smelled absolutely horrible. And the closer you get, the worse it smells.
Oh, good, Meadow, you're awake.
I, you mean I wasn't
No, you
awake?
were asleep.
Oh,
Arya had the idea to pull some hair out of your tail, so I tried it.
oh, well, that would explain the pain in my tail, but uh, it doesn't really explain the headache.
Arden kicked you in the head.
And I'm like, yeah, I don't think clerics do that kind of thing.
Although in the back of your mind, you're like, he is grumpy all the time. So, yeah.
I did not kick you in the head. Don't just trying to get me in trouble. We were worried about you. I can't believe you said that.
Well, I guess if I'm still lying here, I'll try to get to my feet and see how that goes.
I'll help her.
Okay. Uh, if Arden is helping you, you get to your feet fairly easily. You, your your balance is still slightly off, but
Take it easy. Sniffing around. I'm guessing. Can everyone smell this?
yeah. At this point, you can all smell this.
It smells like what her breath smelled like.
Right. Only stronger because you're basically almost up to the cleric hospital. They're on the edge of the forest. In fact, I won't even make you roll for this because you can all see it.
Oh, the cleric hospital.
Yeah. You get to the edge of the forest where you can see the white spire that you saw earlier. But uh, when you get out into the clear, you also notice really heavy wagon tracks. And if you look up at the spire, it's barely still hanging there because the hospital it's connected to is nothing but rubble.
Oh,
Oh,
And there are several, uh, how do I put it? Beings in robes laying face down on the ground. And none of them look like they're moving.
so I'm gonna try to hand Meadow off to Arya and then run over to the nearest one to see if I can do anything.
Okay. Uh, medicine check first.
15 +8, 23.
The one you ran up to he seems like he's still breathing. He's just se- seriously injured. Uh, fact, he's uh, seriously burned.
Seriously burned like all over.
Like he he was almost like he was attacked with a fireball. So, uh, yeah, he's pretty much there's significant burns over most of his body, but he is still breathing.
He's still alive, but
Yeah,
he's unconscious, I assume.
yeah.
What about the next one?
So, give me another medicine check.
27, 19 plus 8. This is not good. Statistics are going to come back and bite me on this. I just know
Th-
it.
this one, when you touch him, he's dead. There's, you automatically get the feeling that there's nothing you can do for him. He's dead.
So then,
Uh, so you don't have to make, 12 medicine checks. what else? What I'll say is you go around to each one of them and make a medicine check. And, oh, there's only one other one out of the group that's still alive. 10, 10 of the 12 of them are dead, but there's two that are alive but not conscious.
the hospital's smashed. Um, uh, Arya, do you think she'll? Do you think Meadow is okay to sit, or can she stand? I need some help.
Okay. Sit down, Meadow.
Uh,
I'll just gonna sit there because I'm still kind of like I don't even know what the hell's going on. I'm like,
Yeah, you're still like trying to realize that you're conscious again.
all right.
I've looked through. There's um out of there's 12 people here, and all but two of them are dead. I didn't come prepared for this. I came prepared for kind of a small thing. Can you help me? We need to go through the rubble here, see if we can find any supplies to help them and stabilize them, so we can figure out what happened here.
Okay.
So, uh, if you guys are gonna start hunting through rubble, I need investigation checks from both of you.
Here we go. 8.
So,
13.
well, investigating this and moving the rubble around proves to be a little more difficult than you thought it would, because this building was made out of stone. So, uh, which also brings up the question of what in the hell uh, took down a stone building. But you are able, with a certain amount of effort, you are able to look through things. There's, uh, you do find uh, medical supplies in the hospital section of the temple. Um, So there are supplies you can use. Uh, you're not sure if you can still help the other two, but the supplies may come in useful at some point. And you also see various uh, golden, small golden statues in the uh, actual temple part. But these golden statues are a bit strange. They are of a dragon who, um, the statues are all of the same dragon, but the dragon's in different poses. You know, on one statue it's flying, on another statue it's just sitting. You know, just sitting. On a third one, it's up on its back legs with its wings folded out, and it looks like it's roaring or something. Uh, and there's several of these little golden statues in various poses. So, do you attempt to pick all this stuff up, or what do you want to do?
And we're gonna have to try and. Well, I don't think we need to pick all of it up. We want to pick up the medical supplies and if there's any water or anything like that.
Yeah, there is a barrel of water, uh, or at least it looks like water. Well, in a temple, you never know. It might be blessed or whatever. But although it is a large barrel, it would take at least two of you, if not more, to pick up.
Well, we don't need the whole thing. We can find a flask or two and take some back. We just need to something for them to drink and pour on their wounds.
Are you picking up any of the gold statues from the uh, temple or not? Or,
He wouldn't be
uh,
interested in them. Maybe naive and a bit grumpy, but he's focused. Like he really cares when people are hurt. I don't think he would. No, the answer is no.
okay. So the cleric sort of looks at the statues and goes back to whatever he's doing. I, when you investigate, what do you do?
Moving the rubble around, trying to find any kind of medical supplies, anything like that. Herbs.
You basically find the same thing that your cleric friend found. Uh, you know, medical supplies and herbs and stuff in the hospital wing, and all all these little gold statues in the uh, sanctuary. What is left of it?
Right. Um, any kind of like potions or anything.
Uh, if you're gonna are you, if you're going to specifically look for potions, g- give me another uh, investigation check.
Total of 21.
Okay. in the are you looking at both sections, the hospital and the sanctuary, or just in the
Yep.
okay?
Nope. Both sections.
In the hospital section, you are able to find one unbroken vial that looks like a healing potion. You're not really sure, but from what you can remember, this looks like a healing potion.
Okay.
Um, and in the sanctuary, you find a small uh, pot with a lid. And if you open that lid, there's a blue liquid in it.
Hey, Arden, found something maybe.
Okay.
So,
Come take a look.
I'm kind of busy right now. Is it important?
I guess if you want to try to save them.
Okay.
okay. You walk over to where Arya is, and Arya's holding the pot with the lid and the and the vial. And being a cleric, you do in fact recognize the vial as a healing potion.
That's a healing potion. What do you want?
Uh,
Okay. You don't think it'd be useful for them?
They usually are. Although it depends on who makes them. But I guess
And
we can't, if
blue
that's
liquid.
all we've got, we can't really be beggars right now.
What about this blue liquid?
that you're not sure.
I have no idea. Usually, healing potions aren't blue.
So, do you want the useful or are we going to save it?
The healing potion is useful. Go for that. I don't know whatever you want to do with the blue potion. You have to be careful. Sometimes these remote convents can get a little tipsy. That may be a potion of a sort.
Okay. Do you want to try to use the vial or shall we save it for later?
Well, I don't know that we'll need the healing potion just yet. I have a couple of my own as well. That one we want to save. Do what you want with the blue one.
Will follow does Arya being an elf, does she have spells?
Yeah, I've got a few.
Do you have maybe detect magic or something like that?
Nope. I've got
Okay.
healing spirit, which what does 1d6 heals up to 4 times. Um, and cure wounds.
Ah, okay. So Arden, I assume you're gonna give the healing potion to the closest one of them that is still breathing.
Yeah.
It is a regular potion of healing. It does what? 44 plus 4? Uh, So it gave him back 16 16 hit points, which makes him not close to dying. He's still seriously injured, but he's not as close to dying as he was. And he he barely starts to try and sit up and can't do it. Uh,
Well, be careful there.
but he does look up at you, and then he looks up at um, the temple slash hospital and just uh, since he's laying on his back already, he just puts his hand over his head and goes, "Yeah, how could anybody do this?" And
Well, we can't. We don't know what happened here.
uh, he's let's see, let's see. He's very weak and you can barely hear him. But he says, "We were attacked." Not a short. Well, I'm assuming it was a short while ago, but I don't know how long I've been unconscious.
We would have no way of knowing that.
And he points over to the heavy wagon tracks that are running through the grass in front of the temple. They came. They said they came in looking for something,
Who's
and
they?
a bunch of elves with a couple of scrawny-looking humans.
Oh, that sounds
Uh,
familiar.
and then when they couldn't find it, whatever they were looking for, the dark elves used magic to destroy the place. And then
Did did the information that they might have been looking for was in regards to the ancient lore with dealing with the Founders Day?
they said all they said was they were looking for an artifact of some kind. Uh, they weren't looking for a book. They were looking for a thing. Because if they wanted to use our library, we would have happily let them do it. But, and you can tell even with the increased hit points, he's still having trouble breathing. And because the acid smell that you smelled on Meadow and everywhere around you, you now know why that was. They took the building down but they killed most of the clerics with uh, acid spells.
Oh, lovely.
Uh, and that's where you're getting the smell from.
Um, not sure what deals with acid. So they, um, Arya is, yeah. I guess I don't know. I'm not sure what else where to go from here. Sorry.
What was that?
I guess can you? Is there any way that you could tell how long it's been since the wagons came through?
It hasn't been that long. They were just ahead of us.
Yeah. The tracks look fairly fresh. It's,
Yeah, maybe a few hours, if that.
yeah.
Well, who do we like? What do we? I don't know. He's confused. He's kind of overwhelmed. What do we do? This is all what?
The the person that you've been talking to that's laying there interrupts and goes, "Are there any more of my people alive, or am I the only one that survived?"
There's one other that we were able to find.
So there's only two of us now.
So it would seem.
And then he stops a second and goes, um, "One, thank you for helping. And two, why are you here?"
Well, two, we're here to find out information on the artifact that's related to Founders Day.
Well, if our library was standing, we could have helped you with that. Um, I'm not sure if anything is left. Uh, what I can tell you is I know what the artifact is.
Oh,
It exists.
Yes. And everybody, as you've probably noticed, has written books and what have you about, you know, searching for it and all this other stuff.
right.
They're wrong.
Okay.
I don't know where it is, but I know what it is.
So what is it?
Um, he he chuckles slightly and goes, "I can tell you what it is, but I wouldn't advise you to go after it. Um, the only part of the myths or legends surrounding this thing, only there's only one part of all the myths that are the same, and that is that this was created either before or around the time that the original dragons ruled our world. All the myths start that way and then they diverge from there. That is the only part that's true. Because what this is a, well, what it started out to be is the crystallized tear of, of a uh, of a shadow dragon who had been in the darkness for so long that it went insane and started literally killing people and other dragons and anything it came across. Um, it was thought that by shattering this tear into pieces and spreading it over all the planes of existence, that this dragon could either be killed or at least controlled. Um, and then he looks at you and goes, "Why? Uh, why are you and this other group that destroyed our temple looking for this?"
Well, we took up a action from this town down here. They were asking to find proof of the evidence, basically, of the artifact, and if it's causing all the chaos that's going on with the uh, shaking and other things.
Okay. Well,
Don't know why the other group is doing this.
well, if they would have just asked, I would have told them the same story I just told you. But dark elves aren't very reasonable, so
See, I told you, Arden.
uh,
Just because these aren't. Never mind. Now is not the time.
right. Uh, and as far as finding information or finding a piece of this thing, without with our library in shambles, I can't really help you with that.
Well, you seem knowledgeable from the first place that we were at. So here's the information we got.
And so you hand him the information, and he's like, "Nope, I told you, most of the myths are wrong because everybody's made the assumption that the artifact is on this plane of existence. And while there may be a piece of it on this plane that is causing the earthquakes or whatever you have been told that's going on, the other pieces are on other planes and the information about them would be there. Uh,
Right. Oh no, we're just worried about this one
well,
and what could be causing all of this right now.
well, if the people you hired or the people that hired you were, you know, telling the truth, and this thing is beginning to wake up, the pieces will attempt to seek each other because they contain the magic of the shadow dragon. That's how they were trying to control it. So these pieces will attempt to find each other, and if they do, they will grow. As they find them, they will grow stronger until, if they are allowed to join all back together, it'll be the shadow dragon will awaken and the world will be thrown into chaos.
So how do we prevent this from happening?
The only way that I know would be to find all the shards and make sure that they don't find each other. Because I don't know if you know this, but first knowledge says that the original group of dragons that once ruled the world want to do that again because they look at the elves and the dwarves and all the other races as doing a horrible job of ruling what they think is their world. So they want it back. So if you are going to take up that task, uh, good luck to you. And with that, he just collapses unconscious because this conversation's taken every ounce of energy that he currently has. And
He's not going to die on us, is he?
no, he just, for lack of a better word, he's taking a nap. But he, he he finishes the conversation and just sort of slumps back on the ground.
And he's taking an involuntary nap.
Right. But yeah. Uh,
So, do we? What the library here doesn't look like it's going to have anything for us.
there isn't a library unless you want to investigate through the rubble and see if you can find anything that's left.
which essentially leaves us with following the wagon trails.
This this place has been basically razed to the ground.
But that doesn't help the two nearly dead people that are here.
No. The one you were talking to has enough hit points now that he will survive. It'll just take. If you leave him as he is, he will heal up over time and he will be alright. You haven't checked with the other one yet.
We should go do that, especially to see if he knows anything more than what this guy told us. So we go and find the second one.
Okay. The second one looks to be in a little better shape than he is, than the person you talked to. When you find them, they are partially sitting up. Uh, they are, in fact, stare, leaning on their elbows, staring straight ahead when you go up to them.
Anybody home?
Uh, their basic response, they look at you when you say that and then go back to staring straight ahead, and they they be- they start mumbling something about, uh, uh, why would why would anybody destroy a cleric temple? And yeah, all we do is heal people, and yet look what they did to us. And they just keep mumbling and staring straight ahead.
I'm gonna snap my fingers and try to get their attention somehow.
Um, Once again, they look over at you, but then they look back. Uh, they recognize the noise, but it doesn't seem like they recognize you.
All right, do you have any ideas? You talk to this guy.
No, I've got nothing.
Is he gonna live if we let him go?
He doesn't look like he's about to bleed out or anything. He does have acid burns and stuff like that, like all the 12 people here do. But it looks like he may have avoided enough of it that he's going to survive.
That's good to know. So I'm gonna try and give him some water and do what we can to make him comfortable, and then go back and talk to the others.
Okay. You give him some water and he takes it and uh, drinks it down in basically one gulp. And he mumbles thank you, and then he says something about, "Hmm, I put my life into this and now look, I have nowhere else to go, and just start staring off into the distance again.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
But
So,
I'll go back and talk to the others, see if they've found
yeah.
anything.
They've been, do you want to specifically look to see if there are any salvageable books, or do you not want to take your time doing that, or what?
We might have to. At this point, I'm not liking the idea of following these people.
Okay. Well,
Who apparently, according to some, are bad. Just because they trashed a hospital, tore down a library, killed 10 people with acid.
that would pretty much classify somebody as
Yes, I would think so.
at least not very good at the minimum. But
Okay, let's put it like this. They trashed your hospital and library to your deity.
and
How would how should you react? That they're friends?
I'm not saying following them is a good idea. I'm saying we don't know their motives. We don't know why what's going on is happening.
Right. But unfortunately, following them is the only probably option that we have. And taking a look at the map and seeing which way the wagon wheels are going, which way are they headed to? Are they heading to another one of his uh, hospital libraries?
um, let me check that real quick. Uh, yes, and that's one. Let's see. Um, long dice. Yep, the tracks are continuing straight north. But if you look on your map, if you continue straight north, you hit water. Because you hit the edge of the continent, and then you hit water. So, just because they're headed north now, uh, they couldn't be continuing very far north because you run out of land. So, and
Unless they're gonna jump on a ship.
the nearest next temple is to the east. But it is on the coast, but it's to the east,
Okay.
and maybe a day's ride from here. So, what do you want to do?
Well, I don't think we're going to make very good time with a cat that can't lick herself, basically.
I'm gonna look at him like I can lick myself. See, I'm gonna miss my paw.
And you and
See
you
what I
fall
mean?
and you fall over.
Right. I meant to do that.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get the feeling. I get the feeling the people that laid waste to this would be better suited if we followed them. Uh,
Which way would be faster according to the map? Going north and then east or straight east?
Well, you could definitely go straight east from here, but eventually you would have to go north. Um, it looks like the terrain is easier going east than north. Fact, if you go north from here, there are no roads. It's just forest up to the sea.
And that ore wagon's making a road that we can follow, so that wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, they are leaving rather huge ruts in the. Yeah, so. So, but there is a road straight east that's much. Uh, and the forest ends, and you end up uh, on a road paralleling the sea.
there's the two that are here. They may not be dead, but we can't just leave them.
Uh, and you also, and Arden has to remember that these are in fact temples. At least now, they're temples to your goddess. They may have been temples to other things in earlier times. That's why you saw the little gold dragons and such. But uh, these are priests of the goddess that you follow, even though you may have never met them.
I feel like that's supposed to be a hint.
Well, it's supposed to be the motivation that these are your brothers and sisters. You you want to save them in some way.
Well, there's nothing. There's nothing else around. It's just this, right?
Yeah,
So we kind of don't have a choice.
this temple was their existence, and now it's gone.
Between the first one who's barely holding it together and the second one who's missing a couple of light bulbs, torches. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh,
Just not everyone's there. I feel like we can't just leave them. I'm not afraid. I'm not saying we can't go, but we shouldn't just leave them here.
Well, I don't know what to do. We don't have anything to take them with us. We don't have extra horses to send them on horses to the other your other cleric facilities. I mean, honestly, the best thing that we can do, considering their condition and all, and the situation, is to put them out of their misery.
Put them out of their misery. I hope you don't mean what it sounds like you mean.
Yes,
That's a little drastic.
Absolutely
it's
not.
for the better. It's for the better good, though.
We are not murderers.
I'm with Arden on this one. No, that's I, we can't do that.
It's for the better good
Better good of who?
of everyone, even them.
I doubt they would agree.
I mean, the next village we're heading to's got to have a cleric's temple, right? I mean, couldn't they each one of them, if they could sit a horse, they could, ride behind one of us, or a couple of us will just have to double up, and we drop them off at the nearest cleric's temple we can get to. If you think they're able to sit behind us and not fall off.
Um, Looking at their condition, I don't think so.
I didn't see Jigsaw now.
So I kind of
There
look at
has to
Arya and
be.
my tail puffs up a little. I'm like, do you want to put me out of my misery too then? And I'm kind of challenging her.
Well,
No, if I have to, I would.
Take a deep breath. There needs to be another
yeah.
solution that doesn't involve treating them like injured horses. We don't even know if this artifact is what's causing the problem. We just know it's a thing. Others are looking for it, and the the lore, which someone has already told us is wrong, doesn't actually matter.
And regardless of any of that, like you said, Arden, we're not murderers.
Well, but you do realize that this has to be uh, pretty important, or somebody wouldn't, destroy an entire temple for it. And now you know that the people that are racing in front of you are willing to destroy things to get us. So,
I can't be okay with that. I'm sworn to uphold and protect life, not destroy it whenever it's convenient or inconvenient.
Right. And I mean, as an adventurer, I have no problem with, killing somebody that's trying to kill me, but that's not the case here. And morally, it doesn't seem right.
So you all are willing to risk another destruction of your deity's temple, Arden, to try to save two people. And Lord knows how many more are in that temple.
The goddess does not need me to defend her.
well, the one thing you are all sure of is that the wagon tracks are headed that way no matter what you guys do. So, they didn't find what they were looking for, so they're on to the next one.
I'm just saying, for the better good of things, you either leave them to their own or we put them out of their misery and we move on. Because we can't take the time.
And you,
To take two extra people on these horses would cost us at least a half day's ride additional.
because it would slow you down.
I failed the pragmatism part of cleric college.
Most clerics did. Why they're clerics.
I love being chaotic good.
Jeez.
I can destroy a whole town if I kill the guy I'm after.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't condone killing them. If we have to, if we must leave, then we must leave them alive.
Then we leave them to their own. Leave them some food, a little bit of water, and let's move on.
I don't like it, but I agree.
Well, I was going to offer to stay. You guys continue on to the next temple. I can see if there's a village closer by here where, I could find someone to take them in and take care of them, and I'll catch up with you when I
yourself?
can.
By yourself?
Yes, I'm just looking for someone who can help them.
2 versus 8 is not good odds. And that's what I know of just what I saw in that war wagon was 8. 3 versus 8 isn't good odds, but it's better odds.
Yeah, it's not great odds either.
And I don't know how many more are actually in that thing. I just saw about 8.
Yeah, you just saw why you were able to see through the bird's eyes. You didn't necessarily see everything.
And given the rough size of the tracks here, that war wagon can hold easily a dozen more, if not.
Well, I'm assuming we're still going to try to avoid them and not, start a conflict with them in any case.
Yeah, we're going to
That's
try to
not what we
avoid them,
signed
but
up for.
we'll try to avoid them, yes. But if it comes down to it, push comes to shove, we got to shove back.
True enough, I guess. And by the way, next time you take control of a bird, can you make it fly close enough for me to say hi to it?
I didn't take control of it. I just read its thoughts and watched through its eyes.
The intrusive thoughts are getting through. I think, assuming there aren't any other caravans coming through, we didn't notice any bandits. The place seemed safe.
You didn't see anything along the road.
Except for the 2 crashed massive trees and, that whole thing.
Right. You
If
didn't
the threat's now in
didn't see-
front of us. But
You didn't see any fact, you haven't seen any other beings since you left the first temple you went to.
if the threat's now in front of us, then I can be okay leaving them with provisions, continuing on and letting the first people we come to who aren't trying to kill us know that they're here.
I suppose that sounds like a plan.
It's not a great one. And it tugs at
Personally, putting them out of their misery is the best plan we can do for them.
you. Put them out of their misery, and I will keep them alive.
And
Do you have true resurrection?
No, but I have a cantrip that can stabilize them when they're at 0 health points.
So you would basically end up stabilizing them back into the condition they're currently in. So you would be playing this game of ping pong.
Killing them is not a mercy.
Not unless there was no other choice, and I don't see that being the case here.
And the one other thing I will say is that you did not only did you have you not seen another being in all this distance, you haven't seen another town or village either. All you've been seeing is the road in front of you and the forest on either side of you.
Arya is right. We do need to go. It pains me to say it, but we won't be killing them.
Mm.
It's awful quiet.
I'm letting you guys figure this out.
Thanks, mysterious voice in the sky.
Yeah.
I turned to Arden. I'm like, maybe you should check on the two living ones one more time to make sure they're, as comfortable as they can be.
Maybe I should leave a sentinel up so that someone doesn't kill them later. And give Arya some side eye. You can't see it because I don't have a camera, but I'm doing a really good side eye impression.
Yeah. You guys gotta get cameras. Uh, Because, the audience is missing these little things, so you guys have to get
Right.
cameras.
Fair enough.
Uh, so, yeah, if you want to go around and check the two living one more time, you can do that.
I think that's reasonable. I'll leave
So,
them with some of the food I've got.
all right, no water and stuff. So, I need a medicine check for each one.
I thought you said you weren't going to make me do this.
Well, different time, different scene. There's not 12 of them that you're doing.
All right.
There's only two.
Gee, Christmas. The first one's a natural 20 with an 8, so it's with a 28.
Now, which person was that?
The first one, the one that we talked to the first time,
Okay.
the one
You
that we
see,
gave the potion to.
you see that he's actually up and moving around. Because you gave him back 16 hit points. And after he took a rest, he got a few more. So he's up moving around.
The second one's a 19, 11 plus 8.
He's still doing what he was doing, just sort of leaning on his elbows, staring out into space. It doesn't seem like anything has changed. So,
I'll put a hand on his shoulder and just say that I can cure his body, but I can't cure his mind, and I'm sorry.
So, so do you then what? Cast light wounds? Or what do
Cure
you do?
cure wounds.
Yeah, and you can see that it noticeably helps, but like you said, it helps his physical body, but he's still s- s- staring out into space with a look like, yeah, his, his entire world has been shattered, and he's like, got this look on his face like, what do I do now? And he just sits there staring into space.
I went back to the other two after leaving some water and a little bit of food for both of them.
Right. You've basically helped them as much as you're going to be able to help them at this point. Because you don't have anything to help them rebuild their temples. So
I'm a cleric, not a lumberjack.
basically, yeah. I don't want to see a cleric wearing a red and black, red and black uh, flannel shirt anyway.
Do they even have flannel in the Dungeons and Dragons universe?
No, they probably didn't have flannel back then. But
I've
yeah,
done okay, so I walk back to the. I've done all I can for them. They'll be okay for now.
yeah. And how long they survive is up to them. You you really can't do any more than you have.
And look at Arya. No unnecessary killings. Can we agree on that?
I only said it'd be best to put them out of their misery.
When this is over, we need to have a conversation about what is best.
So,
With that, I just kind of retreat a little bit.
and Meadow is still sitting where she was sitting when all this started. And yeah,
I mean, I'm assuming I was close enough they, heard all of this, so I'm up to date. I mean, I know what's going on at this point.
right.
Yeah, we did hear everything.
You, you just didn't go searching through the place like they did.
No.
Because you're still not quite over the, you're still getting over the acid fumes and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
fact,
In fact, I'm gonna try to stand up again and see how that is going.
give me another dex roll then.
Dex. Okay. 11.
A what?
11.
Eh, I'll say that with the help of leaning against a nearby tree, you're able to get yourself up. Um, but what's going through your head is you want to get out of here as soon as possible because you want to get out of the radius of whatever these fumes came from.
Yeah.
So you're just standing there waiting for them to decide what they want to do at this point.
I draw a map pointing the clerics to the nearest town where we came from. Tell them it's about a day and a half worth walk.
If you use the horses, it's a day's ride. If you walk, it's a day and a half.
If
And
they
you,
have horses.
well, no, I'm just talking the three of you.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm just giving them direction,
And,
writing it down on a piece of paper for them to go.
and what you see, oh, giving who directions, the two that are still there.
Yep.
Oh, so you're giving them directions to get to the next place that you're going.
No, the one we came from.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that would actually be closer from where you are. It's a straight shot back south. So it would be a easier trip for them than where you're headed to. So, okay. So you give that to the one that's not staring into space. And so do you guys then load back up and head east or what?
Yeah. We'll head east as far as we can and then turn north and east. Try
Yeah.
to get ahead of the war wagon.
Well, okay. To do that, you're gonna have to move fairly quickly because they do have a lead on you. But the advantage that you have is you're not dragging this big wagon with you, so you can move quicker than they do. They only get ahead of you when you stop and aren't moving. So,
And in the meantime, while we're riding, break out rations and
yeah.
eat some.
Yeah, because at this point it is getting dark. You're clear of the forest, or it would be even darker, but at this point, it's definitely getting dark.
I'm just kind of munching away, trying to keep an eye on Meadow. Well, I'm concerned.
So you guys start heading east, uh, and you're having your dinner on the move tonight. Are you planning to bed down, or are you planning to just keep going as it is getting dark?
Well, sadly, even the horses are going to need a little break. They aren't going to be able to travel, so we'll have to stop for a little while.
That's true. You might be able to go all night, but the horses can't. So,
Just make a camp.
um, you are out. You are on the road, but you are out in the open at this point. There's no forest. The forest ended basically back where the temple was. So,
I didn't do Boy Scouts. I have no idea if that's a good idea or not.
so there's basically, like I said, you're out in the open. There's, if you make camp, it would be beside the road. So,
As opposed to
Yeah,
some.
make camp off the side of the road.
yeah. Okay. You guys do that. You have your little campfire, and you're all sort of sitting around the campfire trying to stay warm. And are you gonna bother to uh, set up uh, guard shifts, or are you all just gonna conk out?
Nah, I'm just gonna sleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we're taking shifts, I'm not taking the first one. I'm
Uh,
gonna sleep for a while.
well, um, actually, you all finish your rations, and basically, whether you intended to or not, you find yourself drifting off because it's been a very heavy, stressful day.
Yeah, a little bit.
And so you end up all three falling asleep. And before you know it, you are awakened uh, by bright sun in your faces. As there are no forests to block the sun now, so you get awakened by being blinded, basically.
I don't have a ton more in me.
Well, actually, this is a good place to stop because that way the next time we do this, you can just start heading east toward or you can continue heading east toward the next place.
Mm-hmm.
So, actually, I was starting to wonder about La Fall because, well, actually, both of you are in later time zones than us. So,
Yeah, it's
it's,
almost midnight here.
yeah,
Yep.
because it's 9:45 here. So, yeah.
Right.
Um, so, so we'll leave it there for the night. I hope you guys had fun.
Oh, I definitely did.
I
And,
did.
I missed you all.
yeah, and we will we will pick this up week after next, unless by then Jinx is okay, and then if Jinx can play, we might jump back into Fallen Dragons after see if we can get you guys out of the Underdark.
I actually have something I want to try to get us out of the Underdark, so we'll see.
Uh-oh.
I don't know whether you should be happy about that or be scared to death about
Well,
that. But
short term, it might be beneficial, but who knows what the repercussions would be long term. But I do want to try.
okay, we have the opportunity. I think I have a small inkling of what you're talking about, but I'm not sure. Uh, and for the people who see this on YouTube or podcast, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that little snippet makes you want to come back and see what she thinks she's gonna do, uh, and whether they survive what she thinks she's gonna do. Uh, who knows? She might kill you all off, and that way I don't have to. Uh,
Well, or I might get us all saved, although I'm not sure about Korai's parents, if they're still alive, if they're going to make it out alive or not. But I might end up saving the rest of us. We'll see.
what actually does Carrick's or Korai's parents care if or does Korai care if his parents survive or not?
It's a good question. You're asking me to inhabit someone I haven't been around in a while.
Yeah. You'll have to think. You'll have to. After all this time being locked up in the same cell with them, your attitude may have changed.
Quite possibly.
You may, in fact, either like them more or you may hate them more than you did when you started at this point.
They may like or hate me.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. But, yeah. Next week will be Vampire, and so people need to watch for that. And we didn't end up doing the Thanksgiving Cthulhu because Robin wasn't feeling well. Yeah, but it does also mean that Christmas Cthulhu is coming up soon. So, yeah, stay tuned for that because you never know when your favorite mall Santa is actually a eldritch monster in disguise.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. All the little kiddies may be in big trouble.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. They come and sit on his lap, and that's as far as they get. But, uh, but anyway, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Uh, buy all of Robin's books. Her latest one came out in October. Yeah, buy them all for Christmas presents. And, uh, and definitely, if you're more of a podcast person, check out our podcast. Uh, the, this episode should be up in a day or two. I think that's all I got.
Okay. Have a good night.
See you next time.
See ya.
So, let me. I